Hello, I'm Michael. I'm glad that you're looking at this video. This is the fifth video to conclude a small series on how to produce a good lighting design. We started at the beginning to learn how to run the analysis of a project. That's the way to start to be successful. Based on the analysis, we worked out a concept by describing the different qualities we want. Now we're going to use these qualities to move further to get to a proper product selection. Most important is always a good concept, because it's the concept that sells, not the fixture. So as a lighting designer, I'm designing light, not fixtures. So bear that in mind, please. You may remember in the last video we looked at two situations: the rear wall with a big logo on it and at the counter, both in the same place in a hotel lobby. For the rear wall, we extracted the information that it is of superior importance to highlight that logo. All other illumination is kind of a gimmick only, not really necessary. It will even probably be a waste of resources and will make your work even more difficult. So probably it's better to concentrate on the logo. Let's have a look at a section of this room. The section view makes the necessary fixtures quite clear. The room height below the suspended ceiling is about 3.8 meters. If you like, it's 13 feet. The logo is about 1 meter high and wide, with the center 1.6 to 1.8 meters above the ground, so in eye height. And the light will be installed between 1.2 and 2 meters away from the target. You may use a try and error method or fetch your trigonometrics schoolbook, and you'll find out that the result will be either 40.1 degrees if you're 2 meters away, or 20.7 degrees if you're 1.2 meters away from the target. If the target would be three-dimensional, the choice would be rather obvious. You remember from a previous video that about 30 degrees is the typical choice, the so-called museum angle, to assure good plasticity of the target object, to see the three-dimensional structure of an object. 30 degrees is good because it shows a good relation between horizontal and vertical lights onto the object. Here it's rather simple because it's a plain logo on that surface. In our case, it's not absolutely the same, because the further you're away from the object, the more circular it's going to be, the light projection on the wall. The closer you are, the more elliptical it's going to be. On the other hand, there's a slight advantage for being closer, as a person being close to the wall might be affected by some glare. Well, make the decision for you what is more important to you, but please no compromise. Either go as close or as far away as possible. I would rather accept a little glare. Now we have this part clear. What about the counter now? Let's have a look at this one. It's more difficult because we have to respect more parameters than before. Let's have a look at the listing of things that we put together in the last video. We have to respect at the same time that there is enough light to read and see details, minimal glare, not too high contrast as they would fatigue the eyes. You might remember that. Do not expose people too much bright light. They will not like it, and they will not feel comfortable. The skin should appear nice to give you a healthy appearance. And by the way, the warm material around the counter should be made visible as such. If we believe the standards, 300 lux could be a good quantity. Let's assume we're not looking at something longitudinal above the counter. So we're rather looking into a line array of spots. Then we have to define how they're going to be. It could also be something suspended. If it's suspended, then it's going to turn out to be more decorative. Still, we want to achieve the same quality as we would with a non-decorative solution. In our case, I'll pick a non-decorative solution. So the luminaire is going to be installed into the ceiling, and the target surface is about 60 centimeters deep. So that maybe something like this. And about 1 to 1 meter 15 above the ground. That will be the height. So the distance to the ceiling above is about 2.7 meters. So again, it's a matter of trigonometries to find out what will be the angle to illuminate that surface of 60 centimeters depth. Well, the opening angle of that will be roughly about 12 degrees. Take the center and then 6 degrees to the right and 6 to the left. That's about 12 degrees angle. But what does that mean? Is it clear to you that if you're looking at the half spread beam angle, as it is correctly named, this is not the cutoff. Let's compare cutoff and half spread beam angle. Cutoff lights are typically found in theater situation, on stage, and sometimes in museums. While in normal architectural lighting, you're talking about half angle or half beam angle. We'll look into something built from the ceiling, so from the typical product ranges, so it's going to be half beam angle, which means that at the consequence, the light beam is going to be softly kind of phased out, instead of being cut off at 60 centimeters, which is good because it will have a bit of light spread and added to the ambient light of the room. By the way, the count is about 5 meters long, so 8 luminaires, 8 times 60, 4 meters 80, that should do the job. So we need to look for a 10 to 15 degrees spotlight. Warm light is being preferred, that means about 2700 or 3000 Kelvin, not more, that's for sure. And we have to make sure that skin looks good, that people would look healthy. You have to make sure that the color rendering is positively warm. Now it's going to be very tricky, as many manufacturers do not disclose the color rendering for the red colors. It's typically only these pale shades that are used to define the CRI, color rendering index. You really have to look into the red. Well, it's not only the red, also the blue and the yellow are not part of the CRI index. So find out about this one. If you had halogen lights, then it would be easy because that's where they are particularly strong at. Well, that's it. We're almost there. If the dimensions of the fixture are not restrained, pick a catalog of your choice. Could be any manufacturer, more or less. One that you're happy with, that you know the quality is sufficient typically, and find something suitable. You know, for a bit of fine-tuning, we may ask for a little bit more. Probably we like the luminaire to be a bit recessed further into the ceiling. Louvers might add a bit of visual quality, visual comfort, as it will reduce the glare. Many luminaires today have a black surrounding on their body, as it also makes the light to appear more out of the nothing. So do whatever you want. Probably you are going to look for lens technology instead of reflectors. That could also be another choice, and could help you to define the right luminaire for you. And when you put all these things together and you're really critical, you notice it's not always that easy to find the right product. That's our task as a lighting designer. If you instead choose to go for something more decorative, well, watch out for similar parameters. Half spread beam angle, if you have something like that, must be probably a bit wider, as you're most likely going to suspend something. To pick something, give it a try. You may always also look into the Luminaire app. It's an app using augmented reality to visualize light, and it gives you a good idea on how decorative, or all lights, but particularly the decorative ones, will look like. It will help you and probably your client to make the right choice. Now let's conclude. Analyze, make the right definitions, use those to find the product. It's all a matter of consequences. The result will be really convincing, I promise you. Try it out. You can make successful designs too. Use that strategy. Well, the next video was supposed to be produced at Light & Building 2020 this spring. Well, you probably noticed that has been postponed. So we take the chance to look into other things. Currently we're doing a project in a school nearby, and we're doing a product shoot out of really different products. And well, let's have a look at different technologies the next time. Well, I'd love to see you again, receive your input. I'd love you to share the video, of course, as well, through all the channels that you know of. And I'm looking forward to the next time we see, either on YouTube or anywhere else. My name is Michael Immeke. Thank you.